Hey gang, Ronan here. Welcome on back to the Cade and another episode of Sports Saturday. And for this week, we're going to go back to the turn of the millennium, 1999/2000, and we're going to play a game that, in hindsight, actually is one of the more popular of that era. We're going to play Ready to Rumble Boxing for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, we're doing this for a couple reasons. One, it's been a while since we've highlighted a boxing game on this channel. We did Legends of the Ring, which was a Genesis game back in episode 34. We haven't done a 3D boxing game since Fight Night Round 3 in episode 24. Why we're doing it in episodes 7 and 4, I don't know, but we've broken that streak here. But this is also a game that when it came out, I remember getting a lot more publicity than I think people were anticipating, because while there were a lot of really in-depth sports sims at the time, including Fight Night, which was EA's version of a boxing sim, there wasn't anything that had come along really since the NES and the Super Nintendo and the era of Mike Tyson's Punchout that really lampooned the sport. So what we're going to do over the course of the next 25 minutes or so is we're just going to dive into championship mode, and we are going to see how far we can get. Now, how this game works is pretty straightforward. You start out, you have to build your gym or establish your gym. So I'm going to call this one Ronan's Ring. Minus the S, of course, because I can spell. I promise you I can. And we have three boxers at our disposal. We have Boris Knockemoff, we have Butcher Brown, and we have Afro Thunder. I think I'm going to go in the middle. I'm going to go for Butcher Brown. Now, I don't know anything about these particular fighters or what makes them good, bad, or indifferent, but it was one I have to pick one of three. Let's start here. So, your options are you can train your boxer, you can do a title fight if you have the money to pay for the entry fee, which is $2,000. You do prize fights, which allow you to build your purse up, which is the money you have under the number of fights you have left, and everybody starts with 20 as far as I understand. You can do an exhibition fight where you can play against another friend's save game file, of which I don't have one, so that won't be helping. You can trade boxers that you have saved up, or you can import ones from other people's save files. And if you want to train a different boxer, you can select one out of the roster that we have available. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to train this boxer to get ready. And like most boxing games, these are like little mini games you can do. And they follow along more or less with stuff that actual boxers have to do as part of training. You have to do weight training. You have to do heavy bag training. You can train on a speed bag. A sway bag helps you with your defense. It's tethered between two cables between the floor and the ceiling. You hit it, and as it comes back at you, you slide out of the way, and that helps you, in theory, work on your defense. But we're going to do Rumble aerobics training because it's $500, so why not? So what we have to do is it looks like we have to hit the corresponding button as the ball bounces over it, and we get 3 tries at it. So, all right, let's go.
Ready, begin! Ready, begin!
Well, I hit him.
Ready, begin! Ready, begin! Keep practicing!
Well, we only got to level 1. We hit 9, missed 6. Now, I would assume the more you do this stuff, the better at the training games you're going to be. And as you can see over in the lower right-hand corner, our dexterity has gone up 2.5%, our stamina went up a whopping 0.1%, our strength didn't go anywhere, and our experience didn't go anywhere. But we're going to have ourselves a fight, because we're going to need to make some money. And we're going to have to fight ourselves. This should be interesting. Wasn't expecting that in my very first fight. Now,
Ladies and gentlemen,
when this game was reviewed in November of 1999 when it came out in North America, Next Gen magazine said, quote, "With fast action, seriously funny character design, and excellent graphics, Midway once again proves it's untouchable when it comes to arcade sports. But a couple issues later, another reviewer for the game said that the Dreamcast version is by far the superior version by comparison to the Nintendo 64 game, even if it plays just as well. And that's the thing about the Dreamcast, is that because Sega was pretty much at the end of their lifespan as a console maker, and they banked everything on the Dreamcast, bailing them out against the likes of Nintendo and Sony, with Microsoft very much on the horizon with the Xbox, that the Dreamcast, with its capabilities graphically and the processor and everything that was in it, you would have thought that more people would have picked it up and been able to utilize it. But they didn't. By that point, the landscape had changed so much that it really was a case of Sega was banking on a hope and a prayer, and the prayer wasn't answered. So we have put ourselves down, literally.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Now, in order to activate the rumble button, you hit both triggers at the same time, and it gives you more power on your punches. Now, how the punches work is you utilize the X, Y, A, B buttons. The X, Y gives you head punches, while the A, B buttons give you body punches. And if we can knock him down one more time in this round, which we did, it's a TKO and we have won. Something else that differentiates this game from its more realistic contemporaries is that each fight only lasts 5 rounds on standard, and each round is only 60 seconds. In actual boxing, a round is 3 minutes, and a fight can go anywhere from 4 rounds to championship fights are 12 rounds. They used to be 15 way back in the day, which I hate to put it that way because there were still 15-round fights when I was a kid. Which means, translation, I'm old. So we've won our first fight. Our experience has gone up. Our dexterity has gone up a little bit more, but we still need to build our stamina and our strength. And we've got $2,500 to utilize in order to win another fight. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. Let's do speed bag. Now, a speed bag, if you have never tried one before, it's one of those that looks simple enough, but it really isn't. It does take a lot of coordination, and it takes a lot of momentum in order to be able to get a speed bag moving the way you want it to go. And when I was a kid learning how to box, it was the one that was the hardest for me to figure out. So our trading value only went up 50%. Our stamina went up a little bit more. Dexterity went up a little bit more. And our experience stayed the same.
Prize fight.
So now we're going to fight against somebody we haven't seen yet. Don't know who this is. This isn't one of the 3 fighters we have available to us when we started.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's get ready to rumble.
Now, the reason why they have this guy, whose name is Michael Buffer, and he is easily one of, if not the most popular boxing announcer in history, because his catchphrase is, and I have to be very careful because he has trademarked it, is, quote, "Let's get ready to rumble." And when Midway wanted to put this game together, it was a natural fit to have Buffer and his catchphrase as the centerpiece of this game. I remember hearing it said at one point that in his career, Michael Buffer has made in excess of, I want to say, $25 million off of the trademark for that phrase. Now, if you want to block in this game, there is no real blocking. It's all about moving. And you have to be careful how you move, because that blue bar at the top is your stamina. Whereas the multicolored bar, obviously, is your life. Alright, well, let's see if we can put this guy down here. Oh, big 4-punch combination, and down he goes.
3, 4, 5.
He's got a chin like mahogany to get up from that. Oh, and I put him down right at the bell. And he almost knocked me down. How I am not down on my butt is surprising. Now, one of the things I do definitely like about this game is that the fluidity of movement is really, really sharp. As we put him down and end the fight. And I've got a bit of a shiner to show for my work. But that was the thing about the Dreamcast, is that the people thought the Dreamcast was underpowered. It wasn't. Its ability to really process games with a fair amount of speed was very impressive for the time. And as we'll be showing with other titles that were on the Dreamcast, because we've got quite a few at our disposal now,
Train your boxer.
you know, it's one of those that I think in hindsight, if people had it to look at again, I would hope that they may have given it a bit more love than it and ultimately got. I mean, the crazy thing now is you can go to pretty much any game shop
Jab. Right jab.
and
Left jab. Left body. Left jab.
whoop, I gotta focus on this
Right
here.
body.
Whoop, I missed.
That was wrong.
You can find a Dreamcast for 100 to 150 bucks, like in really good shape.
Right body.
Like it's not gonna be a
Right
piece of
jab.
junk.
Right jab. Right body. Left hook. That was wrong, campeon. Right jab. Uppercut. Too late, hijo. Weakling. Uy.
Well, I'm end up being a weakling, but I get a little bit of a strength boost. So we'll do another prize fight here.
Prize fight.
And what I'm hoping is that before we end this episode, we will have done at least one title fight. Because you only have 20 fights available to you in your career. Why they set it at 20, I don't know. And that was something that wasn't put into the research that I have on
From the
this.
District of Columbia.
But this game
wearing
actually
the
was
black
reviewed
box with
well
white
enough that
trim
in
and
1999 and 2000, it was nominated for Console Fighting Game of the Year at the 3rd Annual Interactive Achievement Awards, even though it ultimately lost to Soul Calibur. It did win the 9th Annual Game Pro Reader's Choice Award, however, for the best boxing game, and there were 2 sequels that were released. In 2000, Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2 came out, and then a third game came out in 2009 called Ready to Rumble Revolution.
With the baby blue trim and weighing in at
I don't know
105
on the whole how well this game sold, but I know it was popular enough at the time that if you're going to get 2 sequels out of it, you're going to be selling and getting enough units out the door. Let's see if I can get some jabs and some combinations going in here. Uh-oh. Oh! Instead, she comes back with a combination and puts me down.
3, 4, 5, 6.
And she switches between Southpaw and Conventional, which is not easy to do. But now I've put her down with 2 seconds to go in the round. The bell will not save her.
Wake up this morning or what? Thinking, kid, he ain't just gonna fall down.
Uh-oh. I gotta stay out of the way. If she hits me with one of those, I am toast. Oh, and I come back and I knock her down. But if she breathes on me wrong, I am likely going to go down myself in this round. Oh, and she got me with a body shot. But all I have to do is hit her twice. Well, no, I have to hit her a bit more because now the round is over. I'm up just at 9. And I put her down, and that's the end of the fight. Well, that was a war. But I managed to be able to pull it out. So I am 3-0, and we've got about 8 minutes to go. So we'll do a bit more training. And this time, I'm just going to do a automatic and see what this does, if that helps at all. Rating lazy. Well, that doesn't surprise me. So our strength is still the same. Our stamina's gone up, I think, a little bit. Our dexterity is a bit better.
Prize fight.
And this time I'm going to put a little bit of money on it. So we'll win the purse, and then we'll win a little bit extra if we can beat Boris Nakhimov here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the District of Columbia, from Zagreb, Croatia, wearing the blue trunks.
He's got a
with black
square
trim
jaw and a crew
and
cut you
weighing
can
in
set your watch
at
to. All right, let's go. Couple body shots, come upstairs with a jab, and Boris Nakhimov is down. Yeah, we put him down again. But we got 20 seconds to go in the round. If he gets up, we might have enough to put him away. Oh, and the big right hand, down he goes, and that's the end of the fight.
You thought I was gonna lose?
So we go from a 3-round war to a 1-round butt kicking. All right, so what I think we'll do is we'll train one more time, and then we'll do a title fight. And before we go, I want to take a look at the arcade style as well. So we'll do a title fight and see if this makes any difference. Well, we are 4-0 with 4 knockouts. And who are we fighting?
Ladies and from the District of from Seattle, Washington.
Oh, we're fighting Miss Valentine
white
again.
Shorts and shirt with the bait.
Quit waiting for someone else to hit this
And now I got her trapped in the corner. Uh-oh. But I put her down. Got her combination, or got my combination out before she did, I should say. Oh, good uppercut. Oh, she came back with a body shot and put me down. Well, I didn't think it was going to be easy. Oh, and I thought I had her right there. Uh-oh. Oh, but I come back with an uppercut and knock her down. And that was like a Mike Tyson uppercut. Threw that one from my shoes. Oh, and she goes back with a huge uppercut of her own. Sends me halfway across the ring.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Whew, and I barely made it up. Oh, and I had her right at the bell.
Do something besides spook the crowd. Just kneel. You're not losing your head, lad.
And an uppercut, down she goes, and that's the end of the fight. So I win the title fight, and now I am ranked number 10. I am still bronze class, but I have 5 wins and $5,000 at my disposal. So that's championship mode. I'm not going to worry about saving it. I want to see if it's any different in arcade mode, though. Get one more in before we call it good for the day. I think we'll pick somebody else. Who have we not played with yet? Oh, Jimmy Blood. Sounds like a nice, wholesome guy. With his face tattoos and everything. See who we're fighting. He's from Oamaru, New Zealand. So he's a Kiwi.
With gold trim. And weighing in at 2 from Brasilia,
We're fighting
Brazil.
S Strike from Brasilia, Brazil.
Dressed with white trim and weighing in at
Ooh, this guy's quick. And he lunges a lot. Oh, big uppercut in the corner, and down she goes.
3, 4.
Well, she doesn't have much power, but she was landing, but they weren't doing much damage to me.
6.
And yeah, that does not stop her from coming out of the blocks firing in this round.
He's controlling the ring.
But a body shot, and down she goes, and that is the end of the fight. So it seems like arcade mode isn't much different than championship mode, except you just get a one-off contest to see what you can do. And that, in a nutshell, is Ready to Rumble Boxing for the Sega Dreamcast from 1999. So that brings up our usual 2 questions, as for some reason it's frozen up on me, but I'll let it do its thing. Is this a good game? I would say that for the most part, yes, it is. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's not a hard game to learn how to play. Yes, it doesn't have a high amount of replay value involved in it, but it is one that if you have your buddies around and you want to play it as a 2-player opportunity, I think in that regard, your chances of getting more enjoyment out of it are better than if you're playing it as a standalone fighter on story mode or even in the arcade mode. Because they did say one of the detractions of this franchise is that kind of once you get through it and you get past the fun of it, there isn't much left for you to really enjoy. Now, question 2, is this a game that they can make today? Absolutely they could. graphically, this is very much in line with stuff that we were seeing in the PS1, PS2, Dreamcast era. So I don't see why it wouldn't translate to the PS4, the PS5, the Xbox One S, or PC. The question is this a game that people would pay money to buy nowadays? Is it a game that a developer would shell out the money and resources to make? And actually, I would be inclined to say no. And not because I don't think it can work, it's because the times have kind of shifted for boxing games. And it shifted for boxing as a whole. Right now, MMA, specifically the UFC, is much more popular than boxing is. I would say it's more popular than wrestling is as well, although I think, on the whole, boxing still has a slight edge on wrestling because WWE has been in a lull for the last couple of years, and all the stuff surrounding former CEO Vince McMahon did not help that at all. But, be that as it may, you still need a company that is going to put the time and energy together to make a game like this. And I don't think it's as viable as it was back in 1999-2000. But the one thing it does have going for it is that this is not a hard game to find. Being able to play it on an emulator isn't hard to do either. Or if you're able to get access to a Dreamcast or an N64 or PlayStation 1, you can get it that way and play it on your own. The fun thing about it is, in very much the same way that I really enjoyed Punchout as a kid, the cartoonishness gives you the chance to get some more out of it than you would in, say, a boxing game where you would need to know who the fighters are, like I do with my background in the sport. But if you're looking for something that is more of a party-style game, kind of like Street Fighter 2 is, kind of like Mortal Kombat is, where you just have some just good old Smash Mouth fun and nobody gets hurt, except some egos may get bruised, then this isn't a bad game to try. And if you've had experience with it, let me know down in the comments below. What has your experience with the franchise been? Was this a game you liked? Is this a game you would like to see more versions of? Would you like to see something new come out on the scene to fill that hole? Because there's a hole there to be filled for a genre like boxing. But unfortunately, with the way the market is and the way companies are right now, everybody's constricting. I can't honestly see one being released anytime, maybe in the next decade. Be it an arcade-style game like this or an actual simulation game like Fight Night or Knockout Kings, which is a shame. But that is the world in which we live circa 2024. But that, everybody, is Sports Saturday for this week. If you've been enjoying the content, best way to show it, hit that like button, subscribe if you are new, and ring the bell to be notified of the latest content. We are working on hammering down our final options for our next playthrough. That will be coming in the next couple of weeks. We are not going to do another fantasy-style RPG, at least not for a while. Again, we did our bonus playthrough of Dark Souls, which was great. Don't get me wrong, it was a lot of fun, but I want to be able to go in different directions and highlight different stuff. And if you take a look at the playthroughs that we've had already, we've done that to a fair extent, and I want to keep branching out in new and interesting directions. So, again, keep an eye and ear out for when the news comes of when we will start making those episodes, and we'll let you know when they will start hitting the channel. Best way you can also help us out is to spread the word through social media via Instagram and Threads at Ron's Retrocade. Faster we can build our subscriber base, the more people we can bring in, the more content we can put together, and we can continue to make this channel bigger and better for everybody. And if there's a game you would like to see us feature from the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Master System, Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, SNK Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, leave it in the comments below or drop me a line on social media. It can be any game from those consoles that you want. If anything, we give you an honest assessment of them. We can feature them. They can be a one-day playthrough. They can be a WTF Wednesday. They can be a Sports Saturday. They can be a Sucker Punch Sunday. Who knows? But we won't know unless you want us to take a look. So leave us a comment and let us know what you want us to put together, and we will do so as soon as we can. My name is Ronan. It's been great to spend this Sports Saturday with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Sucker Punch Sunday. Bye.